Hey everybody, Archangel here, doing another project. Project I have right now is I have my SBR. I wanted to go with a little bit different look for it. I like the way that I had it before. I just wanted to try something a little bit different, and came across a product about, I want to say maybe about 3-4 months ago, from a company called Hera, H-E-R-A. They're actually out of Germany, but they have a U.S. division. And some of you may have seen the actual stock and foregrip before. It kind of makes it look like a FNP90 with the front grip and the stock on it. I try to find one. They have two versions of the stock. This is actually a part 1 of 2 video. This will be the stock, and then the other part of the video will be the actual front grip. They actually have 2 versions of the stock. One is a normal version, which they call a normal version, and then there is a California compliant version where you can't legally put your whole entire hand around the pistol grip, and then if you do, it makes it illegal in California. Thank God I do not live there for that simple aspect of so many strict gun laws and everything. But that's a whole different subject. But I could not find the normal one anywhere. I looked about 3 or 4 different websites. There's only certain vendors that carry them. So I got mine actually from Rainier Arms, which are awesome. They're an awesome company. If you guys ever have a chance to buy anything from them, their customer service is phenomenal, super fast shipping, and as long as they have it in stock, which a lot of times, pretty much anymore with, like the big gun craze, pretty much anytime there's a shooting or something happens, it's almost impossible to try and find some firearms accessories. But their shipping is awesome, customer service is awesome, prices are good. So that's where I got this one from. They did not have the normal one in stock, so I bought the California compliant one, and it says with it does with the California compliant one, you can remove that part as long as you're not in California. So the disclaimer is, if you're not supposed to remove it, do not remove it. I live in a state where you're allowed to remove it, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to remove it. I actually removed it off camera. I started going and looking at it to see if there's a couple different ways you can remove it. I thought maybe if you just scored it and then just maybe hit it with a screwdriver and a small mallet, it would go and pop it loose. You can do it that way, but the way it actually has little tiny tabs that go inside the actual stock. So if you do that, there's a chance you can damage it. I noticed when I started going and looking at it, they actually went up inside the stock. So I'll show you how a quick and easy way to go and take out a part, and then we'll go ahead and mount it on my SBR. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox it. That's basically what comes inside the box. You actually have the actual stock, and this is the way that it'll actually sit with the California compliant. If you don't have the California compliant, it'll look like that, but I have the California compliant part right there. It comes with your hardware, which is this piece right here, pops right here. Once you get it installed, comes with a ambidextrous quick detach sling mount that goes right here, the screw that goes for right there, and the screw that goes up and actually secures it to the actual lower receiver. Like I said, what I did was, there's actually small little Torx screws right there. I'm trying to think the one I used. I do believe it was a Torx 10, which is right there. I loosened those two. I loosened that one. And if you flip it around, I loosened that one, those two, and that one, and I left that one right there a little loose so you could see. And and you can just go ahead and snug it back up, and it actually lets it come out much easier. And then if you could see, that's how it goes in. It actually goes in. It actually goes into the actual frame itself. See, 2 on the bottom, and then there is, if I get it for you, 1 on the top. It doesn't actually go and damage anything. It could use a little cleaning up right there, but it's nothing major. It does come with ambidextrous sling loop mounts on both sides. There, like I said, there's the QD mount right there. It does come stock with a 15mm spacer. They do sell ones. I'm not sure how much they are on other websites, but I know Rainier has them. I believe they're $10.99 right now. As of I'm going shooting the video, it comes with, I believe they sell another 15mm one and a 30mm one. So if you are worried about your length of pull, you can adjust your length of pull like that. If you want it super, super close and you have shorter length arms, you could take that out. It's very easy. You just use the normal Allen wrench right there. That back plate pops off and it slides right off. So you could actually have a 30mm and two 15s or two 30s, or you can mix and match. I think what I'm going to end up doing, just for the adjustment wise, I'll probably buy a 15 and a 30. That way you can either go up to 45, go to 15, or just put a 30 on. It makes it a little bit more adjustable for the length of pull. This part right here is extremely hard to get off, but it's for a monopod. It actually has a Picatinny rail underneath, so you can actually mount this for a monopod if you were using this on like a sapper rifle for like an 18-inch barrel, 20-inch barrel, a longer barrel rifle, and you can actually put a monopod on there. Okay, and then I'll show you the rest of the stuff in the actual box. This is just a filler piece right there. This is the actual instructions right here, and then I believe this is a catalog guide of the different stuff that they sell. I can just go and get it out for you, show you on here. That is basically what it's going to look like right there. Now that is with the Hera forearm free-floating handguard on there. They do come in 3 colors. It comes in OD green, tan, and black. I've seen the OD green on here. I've never seen any place where you can actually go and order it. I would have loved to went with OD green, but I decided to go with black instead. Not a big fan of the tan. It's a very, very light tan. It's almost like a sand color. If you like a darker type of flat dark earth, then what you might want to do is you might want to Cerakote it for like, say, like a Magpul flat dark earth, something like that, to where it makes it a little bit darker. I don't have anything to compare it against for the flat dark earth of Magpul versus that, but it does look much, much lighter. But that's essentially what it's going to look like. And like I said, that one right there, it says it's a sample picture only. It's actually the CQR buttstock and CQR front grip. And they have different magazines. They have tons of different accessories and stuff. You can go and take a look at their website. I believe it's Hera-USA.com. I believe is where it is. Yeah, right there it is for you guys. Hera-USA.com. I looked at a bunch of different reviews. I'm actually a huge FN fan, but the problem with some of the FN stuff is it's very nice, but it is super expensive. And especially with the importing stuff that happened within the last couple years from FN, if you do find something you like and it's at a good price, you better buy it, because it is super, super expensive. There's a lot of places doing a lot of price gouging. If any of you guys have seen it, most of you probably have, with the Scar Heavy. Some of the prices are insane. You have to, I've seen them anywhere as low as what the normal price was before, up to $5,000-$6,000, and some of them you almost have to give up your firstborn to actually get one of them. So that's what that looks like. I'll show you the actual SBR that's actually going on right here. It says it's recommended that you use a Milspec buffer tube. This is actually a commercial spec buffer tube. I'm going to try it out and see if it works, just to make sure if it works or not. Just showing you that this is the stuff that was actually on it before. This is the Magpul grip. You actually don't need that particular one anymore. Your normal Milspec backing plate that normally goes and comes with it. This slides over. This bolts right up to here, and there's actually a little groove cut right here, and it comes with a little rubber piece. That's where your safety indent will go, and your safety selector switch will actually go, and the actual bolt that actually bolts it to the lower receiver goes up through there. So we're going to go and slide this on. I've heard from several different people that sometimes you're actually better off going and loosening up this bolt and this bolt and this bolt and this bolt, so it goes and slides on a little bit easier. So just to make sure that I have to have a Milspec tube, but we shall see right now of exactly what's going on with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera real quick, and then we'll get back into it. Okay guys, as you can tell, it is a little tight right there. It wasn't a bear to get on, but it did take a little bit of force to get to it. Now mine, I've seen other people post reviews to where the tang on the bottom of the lower receiver did not match up 100%. It was a little bit off. Mine was right there. Mine did not have any type of issues. Mine's a mega arms lower. I'm maybe figuring that some of the people had a lower quality type of lower receiver. Not trying to knock anybody's build, but sometimes if it's off a hair, you'll notice it when it comes to something like this. It mounted on just fine. It's nice and tight up against there. It's nice and tight up against there. It looks like it should bolt up there with no problems at all. So I'm just going to leave all that stuff on a little bit loose just to make sure I can get that bolt in. Now, a lot of people did post and say that you're supposed to use a ball type of hex wrench just because it makes it a lot easier. I have a couple swivel heads and I have a couple different tricks of getting it in there, so I'm going to see if I can get it in with no problem. But as you can tell, it already looks a million times better. And like I said, the little safety selector indent drops in here. Spring goes in and goes in the little retaining part right here. As you can tell, it'll actually slide right in there, and it pops right in, and that keeps your safety working properly like it's supposed to. And one more bolt that goes in there, and then we should be good to go. So I'm gonna hurry and take care of this, and we'll come back on camera. Alright, we're back. Took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. It does take a 3/16. Yes, 3/16 hex wrench. I was trying to think of what I was going to say there for a second. It is very, very difficult to try to get it in. As you can tell, there is not a whole lot of room in there to try to get to it. If you have a ball type one, they said it makes it easier. I did not. By the time I ran to the hardware store and got one and came back, I'd have got it installed anyway. Be very careful you don't cross thread your lower receiver. I did it very, very gingerly, and I even used one size smaller than what the actual bolt is, because you can actually spin on and get a couple threads started. Then you just have to put not one of these you want something similar to this. I used this end right here, and you only get about a quarter of a turn, if that, and it takes probably a good few minutes to go and put it down, turn it. But once you finally get it all done, it does snug it up really nice and tight. I know since the way the stock is designed, there's only certain ways you can do it, but it makes it very, very difficult. Then the only piece we have left is this piece right here, and I believe it just goes and just pops right on. Just goes pops around like that. I already put the QD installed in there, and you can tell the tiny little hex nut, and it just goes right in there. And then all you have to do now is go ahead and tighten these up. Just want to make sure everything was nice and loose, and there wasn't going to be any type of binding issues or anything like that. Now I will say this, you cannot use a Magpul ASAP sling attachment. That is what I had on mine before. As you can tell right there, it will not work. There's just not enough room there, and plus it goes right there. But it does have the QD here on both sides. You can put a regular sling attachment here, and here's how it looks right here with that little side piece. It's just a little piece of rubber. It's nice and flush. It's not going to pop out. It's not going to fall out or nothing. And it goes and it retains everything. You can just go do a safety check. That's fire. Switch it to safe. Doesn't fire. Switch it to fire. Boom, it works. So no issues with that. All these nuts and bolts are all tightened up. No issues with this. And then I'm going to go and pop the upper on real quick for you guys, and I'll be right back on camera. Yeah, just to confirm, this is a 7-inch rail. It's a Spikes Tactical rail. It's the BAR rail. I have a couple other modifications done to it. This piece right here, if you could tell, it is done by ATI. It actually fit right in there really nice and tight. It actually goes up against, say, like if you're going to take a corner and you want to dig it into some piece of wood, drywall, plaster, something like that, it actually gives you a little bit more stability. This is from, I want to say it's Primary Arms. They do not make this one anymore. I believe it's because it looks just like the one that came off the Scar from FN, so I don't know if that has something to do with it or not, but you can't find this one anywhere. It has, you know, the Hera stock, Bravo company, large charging handle, Vortex Sparks Gen 1, and like I said before, this will fit right here, the Hera front grip. The only thing I did see online, a couple of people were saying, was if you had it too close to where the pivot pin is, sometimes what will happen is once you hit the first takedown pin here and you go and you pivot it up, sometimes it won't let it clear right here. So they said basically just hit the pin here, and you just have to lift this up maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe an inch, and the whole thing should just come apart. It's not that big of a deal. Some people may not like that, but it's definitely not going to sway me away from going and not buying the product. Like I said, this is part of a two-part series. We're going to go ahead and end this series part right here. I did go and check off camera that this is actually the perfect length of pull for me. My cheek sits about right here, and it's very close to where the charging handle is. I get perfect eye relief, so I'm not going to buy any of the spacers. But if you are somebody who has much longer arms, or you just like the length of pull to be back a little bit further, then you could buy, like I said, they have a 15, they have a 30. Somebody reported a 45, but I looked on the Rainier Arms website and I did not see the 45 millimeter one. But like I said, we're going to go and end this series part right now. As soon as I can get the other front grip in stock, I'm going to go ahead and do another video, mount that up. But until then, thanks guys for watching. And that's what she looks like when it's all done with the stock. The part 2 series is going to be the actual front grip, which is just going to go right here.